Jeff, as you look back at this season, one where you racked up a whole bunch of goals to lead the Moose in scoring, what's going to stand out to you?
Um, yeah, I don't know. Definitely a weird season. I mean, a cool adjustment to pro hockey for sure. I think what's going to stand out is kind of being able to make the most of that kind of weird situation and still be able to have a tight knit group in our locker room.
Would you have ever expected coming into your first pro season that you were going to produce at the level that you did?
No, I wasn't really expecting that. And, I mean, I didn't really set any, specific or, you know, any specific goals in terms of scoring for myself, at the beginning of the season, but I just kind of came in with the mindset of, working hard and trying to earn a spot. And luckily I was given a lot of opportunity and, I think it worked out well.
We'll go next to Dave Minuk. Go ahead, Dave.
Thanks, man. Hey, Jeff. How much fun did you have with this group?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys could tell, but it was a really, really fun group to be a part of. I mean, we're a bit of a younger team and, there were a lot of guys in the locker room that did a great job of really, being inclusive and allowing the new guys to really, to fit in right away. And we've said it before in our locker room, there were no egos. Like everybody was all on the same page. Everybody wanted everybody to have success and everybody was happy when each other were successful. So I think it made a really inclusive environment and it made it really easy to to get acclimated and feel like you're a part of the team right away.
And, given the fact that the season is now done, can you believe it's done? I mean, it feels like it just started in some elements. I mean, but it really was 3 months ago, obviously with some training camp involved as well. But now that it's finally here, now the season is concluded, does it seem real that it's already gone, that it's already elapsed?
Yeah, no, it's wild. Like I was driving home with Trent yesterday and we were kind of talking about it and we were kind of saying it feels like we got to Manitoba like 2 weeks ago and we just kind of, hopped in, started doing training camp, and it almost feels like the season was just kind of getting started. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think, especially because there's no playoffs, like knowing it's the last game of your season is kind of a weird feeling. And when it's over, it's almost like there's not a whole lot of closure, especially with, the plane going back to Manitoba and the Ontario guys staying here just due to restrictions and everything. I mean, it's a bit of an abrupt finish, but it's great that the league was able to make this season happen because a couple months ago, we didn't even know if we were going to have a league here. So, it definitely feels weird being over this quickly, but, definitely still grateful that, we even had a season to play.
Jeff, Daniel alluded to it. You had not alluded. He stated it that you had 14 goals. A lot of unique things occurred for you this season, but it was an unusual season. And I'm wondering what stood out to you. I mean, you had a penalty shot goal. You had a number of game winners. But also the fact that you guys played in front of no crowds, you transitioned into a new building, you played 17 straight games at home. Is there one thing in particular for you, or maybe a few things that you pick out and you think, wow, in a unique year, that made it even more kind of special or unique for me?
Yeah. I mean, definitely being able to play in some cool NHL rinks in my first year. I mean, the Bell Center and even like Canadian Tire place, like, those are some pretty cool rinks to be able to say you've played in. But at the same time, like being able to call the Iceplex home for such a long stretch was pretty cool. I mean, it's such a great facility there for the players. And then, I mean, having no fans there, it is what it is. But I think we were able to kind of make the most of Iceplex as our home and have a lot of fun playing there as well.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
We'll go next to Jacob Stoller. Go ahead, Jacob.
Hey, Jeff. Obviously, as we talked about it here, a lot of goals this year, but a good chunk of them came in even strength. And also, even more so around that inner slot area. Did you work actively to make that part of the ice somewhere where you would kind of, produce at a high level? And if so, what goes into that kind of mindset?
Yeah, definitely. I think kind of when I first got here, the staff and I kind of realized that if I was going to have success, it was going to be in that high traffic area, that high slot area. And kind of halfway through the season, when we weren't doing our best in terms of goal production, we kind of looked at ourselves as as a team and realized that if we looked at the statistics, if we were going to be scoring goals, it was going to be in that area. And we kind of, not just myself, but as a team, we kind of made a mindset shift to really focus on getting shots from the point through that area and having guys there to either collect rebounds, make tips, or just be there for loose pucks. So I think it was something that not only I focused on individually, but we focused on as a team, and it just ended up working well in terms of my play style. I mean, for my size and frame, if I'm not kind of in that area, I'm not really doing a whole lot for myself as a player. So it was something that the staff definitely wanted me to focus on, and something that I think I wanted to focus on as well.
Just further to that, though, obviously, when you are able to score there consistently, that's obviously going to earn the trust of your coaching staff, whatnot, can see with usage. What type of skills and techniques did you really work at to be refined in your game in that area of the ice? Like, what goes into it? Like, what extra things are you working at?
Yeah, we were fortunate this year in terms of our schedule, having these weird breaks in between series where we had 6 or 7 days to fill, and I think the staff did a great job of making sure that those early days in that break where we kind of needed a little more rest, we were working on more of those fine skills, working on kind of finishing in those tight areas, being able to collect pucks and make the next move with them. And they did a really, really solid job of giving us rest in those breaks while also allowing us to work on those little fine skills. So we did a lot of we've got these bumpers that guys would just throw pucks off, and it's like you just collect it, find it, move it, get it to a place where you can score. So we did a lot of work in those little breaks between series on fine tuning scoring in those high percentage areas, and I think it worked well for our game plan.
Just a last question, it's kind of a two-parter here, but did you expect throughout your college career that you would be a pro hockey player consistently? I know everyone dreams of that, but is that something you realistically thought? And second of all, when did Manitoba start to show interest in you originally?
Yeah. I think my goal all along was to make a career out of playing hockey, and I was fortunate enough to be a part of a great program at Cornell, and we've had a lot of success as a program, moving guys to the next level as well. And I think they did a great job of kind of developing me into a bigger size power forward. And I think as the years went on, I saw myself being able to kind of have that role in the American League, and that was always kind of the goal. In terms of when Manitoba showed interest, that was I think there was just a little bit of general interest with my advisor throughout the season, and then pretty much after the season, right when COVID hit, I kind of got home and we got to talking and kind of locked things up right away.